In 1982, a professor desired an educational radio station for a university. His passion, if successfully actualized, will lead to the creation of the first of its kind across the length and breadth of Nigeria. But along this path laid various roadblocks that must be crossed and many pitfalls which must be avoided. This is the history and development of the first campus radio station in Nigeria. The first voice and music signals heard over radio waves were transmitted in December 1906 from Brant Rock, Massachusetts.
Good evening. This is Professor Reginald A. Fessenden speaking to you from Brant Rock, Massachusetts, at the tower of the National Electric Signaling Company. I'm going to play an Edison recording of Handel's Largo. Next, I will play O Holy Night on the violin, followed by a short passage from the Bible.
One of the world's first scheduled radio broadcast services, known as PCGG, began in Rotterdam, Netherlands on November 6, 1919. Radio made its debut in Nigeria in 1936 when the first radio distribution service, called REDIFFUSION SERVICE, started in Lagos as a means of redistributing programs originating from the BBC in London as part of its overseas services. And by 1959, there was a network of radio services throughout the country. In 1982, Professor Ralph Akinfeleye returned from the School of Journalism, Missouri, and found the students doing narrowcasting. In the words of Joe France, you take a limitation and turn it into an opportunity. Take an opportunity and turn it into an adventure by dreaming big. That was exactly what Professor Ralph Akinfeleye did.
My name is Professor Ralph Akinfeleye, and I'm the chairman and head in the Department of Mass Communication and Radio Unilag. Well, radio is so important to us in this part of the world because of the simplicity in the programming. Two, it is also important to us in terms of the coverage. It is also important to us because of how we value ourselves, and also the urgency and the demand of radio in Nigeria. As I said, there are about 194 radio and TV stations in this country, and therefore we are very proud to invest so much on radio, and radio will remain the most reliable source of mass media in Africa.
He put forward the idea of a university radio station and did not go to bed until it came to reality. The then head of Department of Mass Communication, University of Lagos, late Professor Alfred Okubo, took up the challenge and wrote to the Federal Ministry of Information and Communication for a radio license. And like forever, it took about 25 years of waiting. The greater the obstacle, they say, the more glory in overcoming it. The big question then was, why did it take so long? The University of Lagos did not get a radio license until the eventual media deregulation policy of 1992. The license was eventually granted in February 2002, 22 years after the university applied for the license. Like they say, if it can be taught, it can be done. A problem can be overcome. The frequency 103.1 FM was assigned to the university in July 2003, and the station was officially commissioned on the 14th of December 2004 by former Vice President of Nigeria, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. The radio station is situated on the 7th floor of the Senate building in the University of Lagos. Thus, Unilag Radio became the first campus station to receive a license and the first campus station to go on air in 2004.
I know it took a very long time before we got our license, because I wasn't part, of all the struggle. Yes, but I was told by the chairman of Unilag Radio, Professor Ralph Akinfeleye. He told us how he struggled. It took about 25 years from when they started, him and late Professor Alfred Okubo, to get the license. So I came in when we already had the license, but we had just started off. We started off officially in December 2004, and I came in 1st of April 2005. And when I came in, we were very few. The staff was very few. And we were just playing mainly music, and of course news, because the news editor was on ground then. And then we had about 4 presenters, but along the way the presenters started resigning one by one and getting other jobs. So, then we started using students from Mass Communication Department and English to be presenters, to take part. But so gradually we were able to build up content. But it wasn't until, I would say, was it 2007 or 2008? Yes, 2008, when we had some new members of staff who were employed, given full-time employment. We had 2 production managers, a marketing staff. So actually the production managers were able to build up the content because they came with program ideas. So, and then we had many students then on industrial training. Some were just volunteers. So they were able to suggest programs. So gradually we were able to build our content for our station. And then gradually we had students coming in with their own program ideas. So those that we found to be suitable, of course we would listen, assess them. Those that were suitable, we allowed them to come in and do their programs. And then also we had people coming in to buy airtime. So from when we started just playing music and news, we now have a full program schedule made up of programs, different genres of programs, drama, music, sports, discussion, all kinds of programs that are suitable for our target audience.
I am Tayo Takuyo. I'm the news editor Unilag Radio, the first university radio station in Nigeria. I moved here as the pioneer news editor, and I'm still the news editor.
The National Broadcasting Corporation, NBC, the regulatory body of the broadcast industry in Nigeria, stipulates that, among other things, campus stations should be the broadcast laboratory for students of mass communication, and that they must broadcast educational programs, maintain professionalism, while adhering strictly to the objectives for which they are licensed. Today, the station is about 9 years old and still blazing the trail as regards campus radio and program delivery. Consequently, to ensure the transmission of quality programs, Unilag Radio 103.1 has on board professionals and seasoned employees with the mandate to produce professionals that can stand the test of time. And so, students of the university and other tertiary institutions sent to the station for industrial attachment are given hands-on training to ensure that the purpose for which Unilag 103.1 FM radio was established is accomplished. For the station, the interest in impacting practical knowledge on the students is one of the driving forces. To a great extent, students from the Department of Mass Communication and other departments participate in the daily broadcast of programs such as news reporting and writing, presentation, production, and marketing. The students cannot but count their blessings and name them one by one. Apart from the privilege of being in the first tertiary institution in Nigeria, where they are exposed to hands-on training, they have the opportunity of receiving a compulsory industrial training at the station. To meet up the trend in the world of technology, training is made mandatory for members of staff as broadcasting is dynamic with new technologies springing up daily. Some of the programs on Unilag 103.1 FM are
Science World, we have Health Focus, we have Ladder to Success, Financial Matters, we have some drama, Story, we have the Girls Show, we have our sports program, and then when we have music, we have different types of music that cater to our different listeners, because we don't only have students who listen to us, we also have adults. So apart from playing the hip hop, you know, the music that our young listeners like listening to, we also have backtrack.
Invariably, Unilag 103.1 FM has succeeded in carving a niche for ourselves by broadcasting programs in French and Chinese. The knowledge of French has remained relevant in effective communication globally and in breaking down barriers of knowledge. This has been made possible by the French Embassy of Nigeria through the Alliance Française. The Chinese language program is made possible by the Chinese government through the Confucius Institute, University of Lagos. Unilag 103.1 FM is structurally organized into admin, marketing and technical departments to enhance teamwork and to deliver uniquely exciting content to the listeners on campus and beyond the campus community.
Alright, so the first university radio station, Unilag's 103.1 FM. It's another great Thursday, if you ask me. The 20th day of February 2014. And of course, I'm reaching you live from the Senate House of the best university in Africa. Talking about the University of Lagos.
I can confidently say that our performance is high. We are an FM station, but we're not doing what all the other FM stations are doing, that is just primarily music and entertainment. We're able to give our listeners something extra. A lot of instructional programs, a lot of education, from all the different types of programs that we do.
The station has proved its mettle, because I know that because of our achievements, because of what Unilag Radio has been able to achieve, other radio stations, other universities have been granted radio stations. If we had not done well, if we had not improved, they wouldn't have given the others the license to, because it was a very, very tough decision for the government to make at that time. Imagine a struggle that took 20 years, so before they finally gave in. And after that, less than 4 or 5 years after we took off, they started granting other universities radio stations. And to date, I know that not less than 20 other radio stations have been granted licenses to operate community radio stations. So I think Unilag Radio has achieved its aim. The University of Lagos radio station is like a laboratory for mass comm students. Not only mass comm now, but for electrical and electronic students, because we have them in the station, the studio. They look at the equipment, the machine. Then we also note that from now, even not only mass comm students and we also have students from other departments, who have ambition and who have flair for broadcasting. We have programs here.
And because we have done well, that's really inspired, or shall I say encouraged, the National Broadcasting Commission, through the head of state along the years, to give licenses to other institutions of higher learning. Because right now there are 27 institutions of higher learning who have licenses to broadcast, to do campus broadcasting. But not all of them are on air, because it's one thing to have your license, it's another thing to actually be on air. So you won't find all of them on air.
Okay. So really, you would say that the struggle was worth it afterwards?
Of course, definitely.